with this video, we will be doing how BTS teamwork made the dream work. And if you want to help this channel and the content that we making, please help support our merchandise, our Patreon, our Discord, and our Twitter. All links are in the description. And if you didn't hit the like button, make sure you hit the like button. Try and get the channel to grow. And the only way we're going to do this, if you like, share, and comment on the content. So without further ado, let's get into this video. Let's go. Chi, get the yayo.
Get the yayo.
Recently, the NSYNC members reunited after 20 years to release an OST for an animated film. And I came across a clip of an interview where they say something that caught my attention.
Yeah, One Direction's an amazing band, but you have 5 guys that are amazing singers and great soloists. So when they come out and do songs, it's like you fight over where is this gonna be. We kind of knew we sucked at singing certain things. We fell into our spots and we knew our place. You know, it was like I knew I'd be the high stuff, these guys would do the leads, Joey would be in the middle, and Lance would be on the bass. It was a lot easier since we started with a sound rather than 5 amazing vocalists. I mean, not to say we're not, but I just did.
I don't completely
That's a good thing about a band or anything that's with a bunch of people. People gotta know their roles. Even a basketball team, it's only one basketball. We all can't be gunners and shooters. In the band, it's always a main singer, and you gotta let the main singer be the main singer.
Yeah, and like how he just broke down their band, they had roles. It's like a basketball team. They got role players. You know what I'm saying? But they had it worked out where it worked out good for their chords and whatever. You know what I'm saying? So they just had a smooth approach. I think that's a nice little tidbit.
And that's dope they got back together. I didn't think they was going to get back together. It's crazy that they did 20 years later.
Yeah, 20 years later, even to see them for a moment, that's dope.
Yeah.
Lance would be on the bass. It was a lot easier since we started with a sound rather than 5 amazing vocalists. I mean, not to say we're not, but I just did.
I don't completely disagree with everything they are saying, but all of this did make me think for a while. Is it possible to have a vocal group in which all the members are extremely good singers? Does a group can only have 1 or 2 frontmen or frontwomen to last? Does this apply to BTS, the current biggest group in the world? These are their main points. And remember that this is not about bands. It's about vocal groups, in which all the members' instruments are their voices. Number 1, it's easier to start with a sound rather than individual vocals. Number 2, group members that fall into their spots and know their place, like NSYNC, work smoothly. Number 3, when all the members of a group are great soloists, like One Direction, they're going to fight for the spotlight, creating conflict. Let's take this apart. And yes, this is going to be one of those videos in which I overanalyze one small piece of content because why not?
You know, I want to hear out, but why is this thought is on my head? I gotta say it. At this point, I agree and semi-disagree. Just because when you have an outstanding vocalist, normally somebody who can sing a lead part understands what it is to accompaniment. Right. You know, they can sustain. They might want to do that part, but they know exactly what it is that they want to hear and what they need to hear to make it happen. So, it's more ego, I guess.
Yeah, I was about to say it's more personality. Even though we are good singers, if people could sacrifice, then it'll work out. But like she's saying, most people don't want to sacrifice. It can be done, but human nature, most people don't want to sacrifice. Most people want to be the star. But if you get individuals where they don't mind sacrificing for the betterment of the group, then it's gonna work out.
It's gonna work out.
Facts.
No.
Here they go.
The first point is that it's easier to start with a sound rather than individual vocals. I agree with this. This is actually how BTS started. Hip-hop and R&B were their first big inspirations. The vocal line singing in harmony and the rap line taking turns for the rap parts were very present in their first trilogy of albums known as the School Trilogy. With time, each member started finding their own sound and leading certain songs. With even more time, every member started having solo songs in both BTS's albums as well as in their own solo projects. So I totally agree. It's easier to start with sound rather than individual vocals, but you cannot do this forever. It can become repetitive and boring, not only for the public but for the members themselves. That's why Cher and NSYNC lasted longer than One Direction, but they also broke up relatively early in their careers. Another one of their points is that One Direction didn't work out because they were all amazing singers from the beginning. But in my opinion, One Direction did not start with 5 amazing individual vocalists. They actually started with one sound, just like NSYNC did. This sound, not evolving, was Zayn's main motivation to leave the group. Zayn wanted to do more R&B, but his songs and even his natural voice recordings were always rejected. So starting with sound is fine, but the sound needs to evolve. Especially with boy bands, members start young, so it's unnatural to maintain the same sound forever. In the case of BTS, they've been over a decade together because they allowed themselves to evolve their sound. Sure, the classical BTS R&B harmonies from their School trilogy are still present in their songs, but it's not all they do. As soloists and as a group, they do more genres and sounds than any other group I've seen in my life. Number 2. Group members that fall into their spots and know their place work smoothly. It's okay to start with a sound in mind, but that usually comes with certain roles. That's what NSYNC said. One did the high notes, one did the bass, one was at the center, etc. But I don't think you can realistically fall into your same spot forever. That is exactly why most Western groups disband early. Knowing your place in the group can help a lot to prevent conflicts related to performing. It's a very professional stance, but it can and it will almost definitely limit growth.
I think that a lot of the, like NSYNC, I know they problem a lot of boy bands that we seen during our time. They break up because whoever's the most popular, they're being pulled to go solo. They're getting pulled to leave the group, and that's why groups don't last, because they be like, you split the money 5 ways, you could just keep all the money to yourself. You're the star, get rid of them and do your solo thing. So I don't know how it is over Korea, but I know over here they are being pulled to be solo.
There, because everybody just gets fascinated. Like, I wonder what this person would sound like solo. They're doing a lot there. You know what I'm saying? And it's good if they can all wiggle their way back in, but it's hard to keep everybody's attention for so long. You know, solo projects take a lot. Yeah,
because everybody thought Justin Timberlake, even though he had a great career, when he was in sync, they thought he was to be bigger. Same thing with Omarion and B2K. Everyone swore when he left there, he was to be a star. He did all right, but it wasn't what people thought it was going to be solo.
Yeah, because they took off massive.
Yeah, did they?
Because at the end of the day, the NSYNC members can talk all they want about their group working out, but they only lasted 2 more years in One Direction, and they did end up breaking up because Justin was secretly planning a solo career. Their words, not mine. Of course, One Direction's breakup carried more conflict than NSYNC's breakup. But just because NSYNC took the most professional way of doing things doesn't mean that this is the best way and the best outcome a group can have. They are simply not a good example for longevity. In K-pop, they will be considered just one more group victim of the 7-year curse. Falling into your spot and knowing your place in the group are things extremely common in K-pop. Each member falls into a very specific category. Lead vocal, main vocal, sub-vocal, lead rapper, main rapper, sub-rapper, lead dancer, main dancer, etc. Western boy bands don't have these exact names, but groups like NSYNC follow a similar structure. So if it's not working with Western groups and it's not working with K-pop groups, why do you still think that this is the correct way of doing things? Maybe K-pop companies notice this, because with time and whether K-pop fans want to admit it or not, with the increased global popularity of BTS, it became less common for the members of a K-pop group to have designated positions. Maybe this is because
I think it's also good for them to have designated positions because it takes a lot of stress off of them.
Yeah.
The only problem with having designated positions is somebody's picking up a priority of a stress load. You know what I'm saying? So after, you don't mind doing your part, but like you have people who just be like, man, I'm tired of doing this rough part that nobody pays any attention to, and I gotta deliver all the time, or I'll mess the chord up and everybody sounds bad. You know what I'm saying? It feels like you could be in a box, so I could get sometimes, but they do a good job of mixing it up, though.
Yeah, definitely.
Because when BTS debuted in America, there was not really a recognizable main guy or a main rapper or a main dancer. They all dance and they all perform. So the response by K-pop companies was to debut groups in which all the members are almost the same artist. They have a similar color of voice, a similar personality, a similar vocal range, a similar dancing ability, and even a similar appearance.
And that's the first thing I noticed between K-pop and our music over here. With our groups, you could tell instantly who's the main singer. And K-pop, it's not like that. Every song is different people singing. Some people get left out of some songs. Some people get put on some songs. But over here, if you're the main vocalist, you're on every song.
Yeah, and I've seen in K-pop, they do something that I think is kind of strange, but it's unique in its own setting. Like, they'll have a lead vocalist, like, sing throughout the song, and then get, like, to, like, the rising action of the song, and let's say the song's about to go up in a falsetto or something, and then they'll throw somebody in.
Yeah.
Like, to sing that upper register.
Yeah.
And I think it's so slick because, you know what I'm saying, most people, they're like warmed up and before they just go up there. So it's almost like, and then you got somebody,
Yeah,
like,
yeah. That's a specialty.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm not saying that this is good or bad. In my opinion, it can work sometimes, but other times it's just boring. Especially for a Western audience that likes finding a unique trait in each member of a group. All the members of a group not overpowering each other doesn't mean that they have to be the same. With BTS, there's no uniformity, there's cohesion. They are all very different people with very different skill sets. Each of them plays a unique role in the group, just like NSYNC said they did. But their positions are not set in stone because their sound is also not set in stone. A variety of sounds allows each member to find a wider variety of voices. With each sound they do, they rotate their positions in the group, even inspiring them to try new sounds in their solo projects. In 2013, no one would have thought that RM would release acoustic songs in which he only sings, or that Jin would choose to dance full choreographies in his solo songs, or that J-Hope would choose to release a rockier sound in which he doesn't dance. This is the benefit of not just falling into your spot. It's important to recognize what you bring to the table, but longevity will come when you allow the members to find more than one skill they can bring to the group.
Oh, I got a big old glass.
I definitely agree. I was about to say to that, like, you could see it in the group from what we already been noticing. Like, they don't just do one thing. We just sing, like she said, RM singing, or we see stuff like they're picking up instruments. We seen in Soup episode 2 where V was playing the trumpet, Sugar was in there playing the guitar. So they're going outside the realms to expand their music capabilities.
They're always trying to expand on something, and like she said, they do have great capabilities between the dancing, the singing, the writing,
right?
Whether it's lyrics or music. I mean, it's a lot they bring to the table, and it's good that you have more than one person that specializes in this or that. Yeah. So you can even, they still have the ability to break up into tandems and focus. Like they got a nice deck of cards they're playing with.
Yeah.
Number 3. When all the members of a group are great soloists, they are going to fight for the spotlight, creating conflict. This comes with the assumption that in a group there has to be a lead role, and if every member fits the lead role because all of them are extremely talented, the other positions will be forced and unnatural. This point was my main motivation to make this random video, because I disagree. Each BTS member has proven over the years that they are amazing soloists, and I believe that's exactly what sets them light years apart from other boy bands or K-pop groups. I'm not trying to say that there's not a single group apart from BTS in which all the members are capable of being amazing soloists, but what I am saying is that they are not successfully bringing those unique talents to their groups. I've talked before about K-pop's attempt of a supergroup, which is formed with members successful as solo artists or as members of other groups. But I believe that one of the many reasons they did not work out artistically is because they...
That was a slight bit of shade. I ain't even gonna lie, the way she said it. She was like, I'm not saying that there aren't groups that are capable. I'm just saying they don't do it.
Yeah, it's hard to do. It's hard to put a bunch of talented people and tell them to sacrifice, because most people don't want to sacrifice.
That's the hard part.
And it was like, in sync, it was easier because outside of Justin Timberlake, he was the only one that really had a shot at going solo. He was the most talented out of the group, and it was a big talent drop after him. So other people didn't have a problem falling in line because they knew he was the guy. Like they knew Omarion was the guy. Like they knew Cisco was the guy. Like the guy from Our Boys and Men, the little short guy. I don't know his name.
Wanye?
Yeah, it's like they already know. You know, Jodeci was the Mary J. Blige's boyfriend.
Casey?
Yeah, like
you know.
Yeah, facts.
they will kind of lower their abilities to match each other in songs that don't favor them, instead of being different unique pieces of an interesting puzzle. In my opinion, that is the only way a group full of talented artists can work. A good non-K-pop related example is Pentatonix. By themselves, they have different solo careers, and together, they are probably the most successful a cappella group, and they've been active for more than 12 years. When they are a group, each of them brings something to the table. Like NSYNC recommended, each of them has their own position: tenor, baritone, soprano, percussion, and bass. But their variety of sounds allows all of the members to be at the center and be the backing vocals at some point or another. When a very talented artist is surrounded by other very talented artists, there has to be selflessness. You will have your moment to shine, and you will have to help your teammates shine as much as you. This is the only way I've seen supergroups truly work. For example, BTS's first Grammy performance was thanks to RM's work as a solo artist. The nominated song was Old Town Road, and only RM performs in one of the remixes, but he decided to share his 50 seconds in the song with all of the BTS members. I'm not sure other group members would have been selfless enough to lift their groups along with them. But for BTS, this is a common practice. Each BTS solo career are 7 different opportunities for them to redirect audiences to BTS as a supergroup project, especially in recent years. When they promote a solo artist, they always introduce themselves as a member of BTS.
I go by the name. And I think that's dope that he did that, especially since he was the first one. He set the stage for that to happen, that even though we solo, we could still bring each other out and get that reinforcement from each other. So him being a leader, I like the fact that he set it off like that.
Yes, plus at that time, when this was happening, Old Town Road was crazy.
Humongous.
Crazy all over the world. And like, if you're playing in any type of game, if you're trying to win anything, and you don't take that ollie, you're tripping.
Right.
It was a great move. And then, like, cause you gotta think about it. It could have been like, hey, I'm RM and the guys.
Right.
But it's like, yo, this is BTS. We outside.
Right.
Name of RM of BTS.
안녕하세요, BTS입니다.
반갑습니다. 슈가이자.
I'm J-Hope from BTS.
I'm Jimin of BTS.
방탄소년단의 비밀입니다.
And every time they come out, of BTS.
You're scaring me. If only one member is part of a collaboration with another artist, most times they will make BTS's name visible one way or another. This was the case of Soul Town Road and BTS's first Grammy performance in 2020. It was a song by Lil Nas X, RM, and BTS, although only RM performed in the digital version. Suga's interlude, in which only Halsey and Suga perform, is a song by Halsey, Suga, and BTS. Left and Right, in which only Charlie Puth and Jungkook sing, is a song by Charlie Puth, Jungkook, and BTS. When BTS is not a featured artist in a collaboration, they will sometimes add member of BTS. Angel Part 1 and 2 are songs by Jimin of BTS. Lilith is a song by Suga of BTS. Rush Hour is a song by J-Hope of BTS. My point is that BTS takes the phrase "teamwork makes the dream work" very seriously. Of course, the why of this is another story, but in summary, their lack of opportunities and constant struggles in the industry allowed them to find out that together they are stronger. Their increasing success proved them right. So even today with their solo projects, they are constantly creating opportunities and visibility for their team. But this selflessness goes beyond their group projects, because for them, this is more a mindset than a strategy. Even when they are performing with other artists who are not part of BTS, they still maintain their teamwork mindset. This tweet says something interesting about BTS's selflessness as performers. I saw a clip of a K-idol singing a song impromptu with a soloist. He was good. He had the skill. He had the technique. The crowd was awed at his performance. The girl he was singing with, usually a good singer, seemed to be trying to keep pace. It played like a battle between two vocalists trying to best each other, with the audience passively receiving what's being dished out to them. Like this Twitter thread mentions later, J-Hope of BTS gave J. Cole a space to shine in their collaboration. This is J-Hope's song. He is doing the promotions. He is doing the performances by himself. But he still gave J. Cole the spotlight. And BTS does this with every artist they collaborate. They make the featured artist one more member of BTS. I think this is more than just being respectful. When a collaboration or a group look more like a competition rather than a union of talents, it shows. So I agree that
and it definitely affects the chemistry, the chemistry, and as well as the imagery.
Yeah.
Like how you're perceived as well as how you feel.
Yeah.
If you feel great, your performance is going to be great as long as you put in the great practice, and we know they do that.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It's when you get that great energy, man, you see it.
Yeah, nobody want to see band members fighting.
Right.
We want to think that y'all get along all the time, and we don't really want to see that. We didn't come to see that, and we definitely didn't pay money to see that
at all.
That it's very hard for groups to work out when they are all extremely talented. But BTS has shown that it's not impossible. When groups in which every member is a star truly prioritize teamwork, the results will always include success. But there has to be real teamwork. There has to be real selflessness. Just think about all of the BTS members doing their mandatory military service together. The younger members don't have to go for another 3 or 4 years. But since it was time for Jin to go, then they are all going now. This way, they can all reunite as soon as possible. You may think this is obvious, but no other K-pop group has done this. They always wait until each of them reaches the age when they have to go. They prioritize their personal interests, which I'm not saying is bad, but it does show BTS's unique teamwork.
They try and feel, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You gotta think about it. It don't sound like much if you say, 2 years or 4 years, but if you say 2 years and 2 years and 2 years, you put one in between. Now you done took out almost half a decade real quick.
Yeah.
And things change.
Yeah, and I'm glad that that they did it that way. I think it was smart and the best way for the decision that they made. But she's right; they could have made different decisions, especially JK being the youngest. Like, I don't have to go around this time. I still got a lot of time before I have to go.
Yeah.
But for the group, he made a great decision.
Shoot, they still had the choice to make the decision to be like, it's been real.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It's great that they stuck together.
Facts.
In conclusion, I mostly agree with what's being said in this clip. It can be a lot easier to focus on sound rather than individual vocals. It's true that group members that fall into their spots and know their place tend to work smoothly. It's true that when multiple members of a group are great soloists, they are most probably going to fight for the spotlight. But I think all of this being true most of the time makes BTS an even more impressive musical act. Against all odds, they overcame every obstacle. They survived their first years with not many opportunities. They became the biggest group in an industry that only allows groups from big agencies to be at the top. They made a name for themselves in an industry that doesn't truly welcome foreign music. They paved the way for Korean artists to have global visibility. And they remain as proof that being in a group does not automatically mean talented people being limited. When done correctly and sincerely, the members of vocal groups can bring the best of each other and create art that relates to many.
TRE-TV, let's get it.
This is Lamar Wilson here, representing Ghetto Action News Network _, all lowercases.
No spaces.
And you can find us on Facebook. And when you do, make sure you hit the like button. All right, I'm gonna get right into this. This was definitely an interesting watch. How BTS teamwork makes the dream work, and why most boy bands don't last. I thought that was an interesting perspective.
Yeah.
I like the way that she doesn't try to force her opinions on you. She just tries to gather the information to make her opinion make sense.
Right.
If you take it, you take it. If not,
don't.
But the way she puts her bullets together,
yeah,
it'll leave you in question, and you might go back and look at things a little different. I think that's awesome. I like how she used the different examples of other artists while painting her picture of how smoothly things work with BTS, and it not only translated through their music, but it also translated through the way they communicate and the way they made their decisions on their life. And I think that's dope. They could have run off and said we made our 7 years, but they stuck it out. They stuck it together. We know they got a new contract now.
Yeah.
And I think that's a testament of how strong they are and their commitment to each other. What you think?
I think it was a great documentary. Like you said, it shows their commitment to each other. It seemed like simple decisions to make, that we should do X, Y, and Z. But even though they're simple decisions, most people only think about themselves, so it's make it hard decisions. And it's good to see, like she said, most groups don't make the decisions that need to be made to stay together as long as they did. So they're actually making the right decision. That's why they actually lasted. I thought I was dope, and I thought she gave great point of views, and I can't wait until we get into the next video. But until then, it's your boy TRE-TV, and I'm out.